Coach Haynes today is joined by a couple of senior captains, safety Wollet, offensive lineman Pat McShane.
Again, coming off of a disappointing loss to South Alabama on the road, you know, kind of as we talked about it as coaches, and I'm sure the players feel the same way. It wasn't our best performance, by any means. You like to go to the game, we knew that we had a chance to sit there and win, but we didn't perform in that way. So we got to make sure that we do better. We get back in conference, get back home, finally. May need my GPS to figure out how to get to the stadium, but good to be back in front of our home crowd, in front of our students to get back in conference.
Just talk about what the last 6 weeks have kind of been like over and above the wins and the losses. I see a lot of red eyes. I see a lot of kind of, not gray faces, but just kind of dry faces, that shows wear and tear from.
Well, I apologize for my eyes right now because my contacts I don't even have them in. My contact ripped my pupil in my right eye, so I'm struggling with these lights, right now. But I mean, it's I don't sugarcoat anything. It's been tough. 5 out of 6 weeks, and I think the one thing that you got to look at, these guys still got to go to school, also too. And we've been back at 4, we've been back at 3, we've been back at 1 a.m., and then they get right back and go to study table and go to class and go to practice. So yeah, that is tough, and I feel for them that they got to sit there and they got to do that. But they're not going to sit there, and we're not going to use that as excuses, but it has been tough. And, I sit there and I look at, again, when you do look at their faces, when you do look at, you go to bed check and guys are asleep, it tells you to tell, but, like I said, we talked about it on Sunday. We're not going to talk about the finish. We're going to talk about this game, and that's it. We're going to prepare for this game, and we're going to play the type of football that Kent State knows how to play. And that's tough and that's physical and doing the right things. And at the end of the result, we'll see where we are.
Yeah, it's hard getting back like that, and just it's been a tough few weeks, but there's no excuses. We just got to keep coming out, preparing, working hard, and we'll be ready for Buffalo.
Both of you guys throw injuries into the mix as well. It's just like you never got a rhythm.
I feel like with the injuries, that has a lot to do with the bye week. Week 13 is our bye week, so I get 50 years of a bye week. And so it's tough, but it's the cards we were dealt. There's no excuses, and that's life.
Coach, it seemed like effort is the one thing that you had never questioned in previous games, and then it seemed like after the last game that was kind of an issue.
Yeah, and I wouldn't necessarily say effort because our guys give effort, you know what I'm saying, and they give it all they have. We just didn't have it, and we didn't have a lot of it. And that's, like I said after the game, I put that on me and the coaches more than I put that on them, So I never question, them going out playing and playing the hardest that they can possibly play. I just sit there and I look at our energy level, and it wasn't the same, and that's when you sit there and, you start looking at, man, it's tough on them, but we got to sit there and we got to get them ready, and we got to get them ready to go. And again, I put that on me and the coaches.
Is it now become more mental and less physical in terms of practices?
There's no doubt. Well, it's been that way for the last 3 or 4 weeks just because of the bodies that we have. We've cut practice. We do very few reps compared to, some other places that I've been and how long practice is and all that. So, a lot of it is, mental for us that we got to sit there and take a lot of mental reps, and that's where we harp on the preparation and coming in watching film because we don't have the bodies, to sit there and bang and pound, normally like you may do, so, we modify a lot.
Good news is you're back home. I don't know, bad news, however you want to word it, you get Buffalo, another unbeaten team. Every team you've played now, none of them have a loss in the league.
Right.
Talk about how you're catching everybody kind of hot, and Buffalo's no different.
Yeah, they got a 5-game winning streak, going on, and they're a very good football team. The thing I look at their roster, and they're a very experienced football team, a lot of juniors and seniors that are playing for them. So, but, like I said, we're back home. We'll lick our wounds. We'll be ready to roll. We'll go out there and fight like crazy. That's all we know how to do, So, looking forward to getting to Saturday.
It seems to be the style of play that you guys like going against. It's not a whole lot of speed offenses, not a whole lot of, is that at least a comfort zone that, hey, this is the kind of team, win or lose, this is the kind of team we like to play?
Yeah, I mean, you sit there and you watch them on film, and again, I watched a little bit of them on both sides of the ball, but, offensively, they're not stylish. They're going to line up, a little bit of motion, not a lot of motion, and they're going to sit there and run their offense, and you watch them consistently from day one against Ohio State all the way, to UMass. It's been consistent with what you see. They haven't changed a whole lot. And that's what, like I said, you don't have to sit there and prepare for a whole lot. You just got to sit there and go out and execute and play. Defensively, Khalil Mack is a great player for them. They kind of move him around. He's that outside linebacker that they put down sometimes on third down. And but again, you look down their roster and there ain't a sophomore, playing for them on defense. It's all seniors and juniors. So very experienced, and they know what they're doing. They know how to move around, disguise, and do all that stuff. So, and then they're not afraid to bring the house.
Pat, can you just talk about the offensive line? I know you were out early, and then since you've come back, at least running the ball a lot more effectively. How's the line kind of grown as the season goes on? What you guys still need to work on a little bit?
We still have a lot of things to work on, but we're really coming together as a unit. Each week we're just really, communicating more, and we still have, we've developed a lot of depth too. We have, 2 or 3 more guys that aren't even starting who can still play and are ready to play any moment. So, we're really coming together as a unit and really developing a bond.
You've been kind of flip-flopping around guard spots. I don't know that you did that last game, but is that how difficult is that? Is that something that's not a big deal?
I played right guard last year, and then this all off season I worked at left guard. So, both of them are really just, it's same scheme, same stuff like that. So there's not really any difference.
Coach Marcus Wright had a couple of pretty big plays in that last game. One of these guys that are getting thrown in there that probably wouldn't have been playing on a normal situation, but he seems to be kind of developing a little bit. Can you talk about it?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, and we knew, that he's going to be a good player for us. He's playing a little bit before his time, I think. But, that's like I said, to me, the beauty of this team is you get guys in there and they go in there and they can compete and they fight, and he's got in there and has confidence in himself and his ability and his teammates, and he goes in there and makes some plays for us that were big plays that we needed. So, like I said, we'll lick our wounds. Nobody wants to be 2-6. Nobody wants to have, a loss, especially after, you go back in those games that you can sit there and you can win. And I guess that was the most disheartening thing coming out of that game when it's, 31-7, and you're better than that. That's what's always the hard part. But we correct that by hard work, we correct that by preparation, and we correct that by going out on the field and executing.
Talk a little bit about the maturation of Fisher over the course of the game, and then what do you see a quarterback going forward?
The thing that I thought Fisher did a good job on is, getting first downs with his feet. I think, in certain situations they would, of course, double Dree. Tyshawn had a couple catches that were big for us, but when it wasn't there, he didn't try to force it, and he tucked it and he ran. And that's what we basically wanted him to do, and not try to force something in there and make some turnovers, happen, because that's how turnovers happen. Those are the things that we liked in him. Those are the things that we wanted him to do, going into that game, and it worked for us. I think he was our, with those, including he was our second leading, rusher. When you look at those scrambles, which were big, so moving forward, I mean, we still got to see how Colin is. Colin still is our starting quarterback, if he's healthy enough to be it. And then we will go from there, see how he goes during the week. But he felt better every day, last week. We had a unbelievable plan. If this happened at this time and this happened at this time going into and out of that game, if we needed him, at some point in time, and, with Maxie and, with Schrock even, I mean, we had it all laid out on what would happen at the, depending on the time of the game and how it happened and whatever. So, I look for him to be back in there, but it's still depending on how he feels. As of right now, all those guys are still kind of up in the air and day to day. Hopefully they'll be back. Dealing with the concussion, you just never know. He's got to be smart during the week. I know Rosie feels better, with his back. But we still, it's something we got to be careful with during the week, because one little deal and, he's back to where he was. So the way that I understand it. So I think it's a herniated disc.
How about Melchiori?
I think Melk's done for the year. I think he pulled it enough that I don't think he's going to be back this year.
I saw Treyon only had 5 or 6 carries. Was that because the game got away from you a little bit?
Yeah, and also, too, I think the one thing that we sit there and we look at, we got a lot of good running backs, and for Treyon, to me, to continue to get better, he's got to be strong at the times that we need him to be strong. And Murray deserves to play because he's had a great camp. He's had a great season, for us. And I think we got to, we went into that one trying to sit there and use him a little bit better. And we use Dree a lot more, in that running back situation also, too. So I think with all those guys, and you still got Julian Durden sitting there, you still got Tristan Boykin sitting there, how can you utilize your best 11 and try to sit there and keep them fresh as possible?
One of the things last year, and of course this may be offense may have been gimmick, they dropped Treyon down to tight end sometimes.
And we've done that a couple times already, and ran the boot and ran the pass way. Yeah, I think because it creates matchups. It's just matchup problems. And we've done that. We did it, last ball game, and we've had it in the game plan. I just don't know if we got into it.
Luke and Pat, just as seniors, obviously coming out the championship season, it's disappointing to be where you're at. What mentality do you take from this point on in the year? Moving ahead?
It's been hard, but we're just treating every game like it's our last game, and like it's a championship game. Every game we just one game at a time, and right now it's Buffalo, and we're gonna come out for Buffalo and treat that like a big game, and we'll be ready for it.
just keep fighting. You know, you want to lay a foundation that the younger guys can build off of, and an example that they can, you know, go off of. So, you know, if we roll over as seniors, then they're gonna roll over as younger guys. So, just keep fighting till the end.
Anything else?
Thank you.